Matter, Garrett.
It's my birthday, nothing's the matter.
Is it really?
Okay.
It really is.
Well, happy birthday, guys.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you. Okay, and we.
1 second. We are live.
Welcome back to the Cat and Fiddle. This is Shake It Up, live on CanuckTunes.ca. It's an anniversary week. It's the first anniversary of Cat and Fiddle, and it happens to be my anniversary. After 59 years.
59 is not your first.
Yes, not my first. Hopefully won't be my last. Exactly. And our host, without any further, famous Framus.
Thank you, Gary. Gary, we're in for an extra special treat here on Shake It Up Radio, corner of John and Augusta. We have none other than Bluesman Deluxe, Mr. Alfie Smith. Everybody,
Thanks so much.
thanks for coming in, Alfie.
Thanks for having me. There we are.
Are we in?
We're in.
We're in. So what's going on, Alfie? What's going on in your world, man?
Well, I have the guitar show coming up, and that's October 26th. It's at Laidlaw Memorial Church at the corner of Cannon and Ottawa, and it's running from 11 until 3, and tables are available for rent, so you can have your own little booth, and you can bring whatever gear you want, or guitars, or bass, or drums, or whatever,
Yes.
and amps, and
I dipped in at the last one there.
yeah.
Like it was quite a success, yeah.
Yeah, about 450, 500 people came through the doors, sold out of tables. And so because of that, I was always planning on doing another one, but there's another much larger guitar show in Elmira.
That's
And
right.
it was moving to the same month that I was running.
Okay.
So they're normally in May, and they were moving to June, or in April, I think. And they were moving to June, which is the same month as mine. So I thought I don't want to be going the same month as they are. So I thought I'd move till October. And because the first one went so well, I thought, well, let's run 2 a year and see how that goes.
Absolutely.
And I think it's only going to be once a year because it's a lot of work. And I think it'll be better to be a yearly event. But I thought rather than have to wait a year and a half for the next one, might as well do one in 6 months and then not make it a yearly thing.
And then you'll keep it in the fall.
Yeah.
And everybody was pretty happy, the vendors, everybody that got
Yeah,
there.
everyone was. I think everyone was happy. It's always hard to gauge, but I mean, a lot of them have re-signed up, so that's a good sign.
Yeah.
And
a lot of traffic, a lot of guitar players in there.
And hopefully people will come out again. And I really think it's a really good and enriching thing for the musical community because it's not just about guitar sales; it's about telling stories. And I want things to be more like an old car show. Right, where you go and you display your car, not just try to sell it.
Yeah,
and you tell the stories about this, and then you just swap parts and whatnot. And
for sure.
And that's a whole entire thing that would be kind of cool. And that's what my goal is, to be more of a community-based thing where everyone's friendly and a lot of swapping goes on.
For sure.
Yeah.
No, I totally felt that vibe, and I saw a couple people in there that I hadn't seen for years, if not decades.
Yeah.
Familiar faces, and everybody was happy to see each other. Everybody was in a good mood. Like I say, it was a real sense of community.
Yeah.
Bunch of guitar peghead knuckleheads in the same room. Nothing can happen but smiles and good vibes for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really good time, and hopefully this one will be equally as good a time.
That's good, Alfie. You're championing the guitar community. You're building something, man, for sure.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. What about on a personal sense, performance-wise and stuff? You've been doing your thing. Did you do festivals this year?
Yeah, I call it the Hamilton Triple Crown. If you're lucky enough to play It's Your Festival, Festival Friends, and Super Call all within the same year, that's the Hamilton Triple Crown.
Nice work. Yeah.
And I've only done twice before because you'll get 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But it's hard to get all 3. And I like it. I'm thinking about making it my own personal award, but for other people too, because it's only something like a local musician will do. Because you won't have a headliner play all 3.
No,
it'll all be
town, right?
local musicians
Yeah.
like that, And it would be something that would, show special appreciation, So I thought about making a list of everyone.
Make an actual crown.
Well, I don't know. more like just a list, just to, bragging rights for people that have been lucky enough to play all three. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to show off or anything. It's just something that as a local musician I can be proud of. I think other people should be proud of that accomplishment.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we've got the festivals, we've got the super crawl, and something that's going on for a long time, and hopefully will continue to go on.
Great festival. All three of them are great. And I mean, I have a sentimental attachment to Festival of Friends because I started going there when I was 3 or 4 with my mom and dad. And first time I saw Jackie Washington and a bunch of other musicians and people that I look up to. And it made me want to become a musician, not so much professional, but just a musician. I'm a 3 or 4 at the time. And I wanted to learn how to play. And about 20 years later, I was on stage with Jackie, and it just made me feel like a
Full circle moment.
I've done something. And now that I'm getting up there in age, I have people coming up to me and saying that they've inspired me. And it means a lot. It's a continuation. And it's really good.
That's a great feeling. I remember those when I was kind of putting my thing together and really getting ambitious about being a songwriter and a performer and hitting the festival friends. And the workshop stages were my favorites because you see Fred Eaglesmith and Willie P. Bennett and Ray Materik, Tom Wilson, all trading stories, doing each other's songs, and just sit on the grass and just soak that up. And that was probably the first row of cinder blocks. That was I wanted to smash into the foundation of me as a musician, just soaking that up.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things that the Festival Friends used to do, and I would love to be able to bring that back in some small way. But it's a fine line between being a musician and then being an annoyance. Right? So
I've been surfing that for decades, man.
So my first job is like a politician, to get rehired.
Yes.
That's my only job.
Reelected.
And then after that, then I can start worrying about doing good things.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, like most politicians, I just follow through with getting rehired.
I just I like them to let me finish the show.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've been paid to stop and just play CDs. You were really good though, but we're just gonna play CDs. But you get great stories. You get it's up and down. It's an emotional roller coaster. This music business. For sure.
Actually, I went to a gig once in Syracuse with my wife Nicole, and we were both playing the bill, and we did this little U.S. tour and a bit of Quebec, and then coming back around, went around the lakes, and they said they had a PA, and so we never had a PA with us, right? Because all the stops had PAs.
Yeah.
Well, their idea was a PA was a unpowered speaker hanging on the ceiling. No amp, no board, no nothing. And you show up and it's like, oh, well, I guess we'll play acoustically. Luckily, we have acoustic guitars. So we play for one set. And like, oh, well, we'll just pay you, but you have to go home.
You can't stay here, but you have to go home.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that was the middle of our tour. So we couldn't go home. We had to go on to the next place. But luckily, they actually knew what a PA was.
Yeah. Well, you got the stories, man. You got the stories. How about a song, Alfie? Sure. We got you here. We got you strapped up, ready to roll. Nobody wants to hear me blathering on. Let's hear you, man.
All right. This next song, or this first song, is a song that I wrote, and it's a Hamilton song, and it mentions Festival Friends and Supercrawl. Festival Friends, not specifically. It mentions Gage Park. And it says in Gage Park we play at the fields, and that's referring to Festival of Friends.
Cool.
It's because it's really hard to rhyme Festival of Friends and say it in the song because it's kind of sibilants.
Yeah.
So, and then it mentions Supercrawl because that's much easier to say in a song. But it's all about Hamilton, and also I'm lucky enough to play a festival in Mexico every year, and I'm going to be playing that end of October, beginning of November. It's called Isla Got Soul.
Yeah,
so go to islagotsoul.com, and it also mentions my love of Mexico. So we'll get into that after the song. But yeah, just mentioning the things that it mentions.
Don't bury the lead, Alfie.
Yeah. Well, it's foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing.
You guys are hearing Put you down on Jackson Square, Garden Bucks to Delaware. You're my East End girl, and I love you you so. Farmers market on Ottawa Street, none of the berries are quite as sweet as my East End girl, and I love you so. In Gage Park we play in the fields, my love for you will never yield. You're my East End girl, and I love you so. Take you up to the Devil's Punch Bowl, see the city lay below, making promises we'll never keep. Let's my mind rest in peace, my East End girl, and I love you so. Laying at the super call, my love for you will never stall. You're my East End girl, and I love you so. Making bets at the Jockey Club, that's when I knew that I was in love with my East End girl, and I love you so. Make it out of this rusty town, Mexico or water down. You're my East End girl, and I love you so. Making out of Dundas Beach before the rain and the sleet, waiting for the fireworks. I love you so much it starts to hurt, my East End girl, and I love you so. Make it out of this rusty town, baby, Mexico or water down. You're my East End girl, and I love you so. You're my East End girl, oh, and I love you so. You're my East End girl, and I love you so.
You hit all the touchstones, man. The East End touchstones for sure. Yeah. That's great, great song.
Thank you so much.
Good stuff, man. Have you been writing a lot? Have you been?
Yeah, I've been writing a fair bit, and I have a brand new record that's coming out in the middle of November.
Nice.
And so yeah, and it's called Every Road Needs a Hero, and it was recorded over the pandemic. I recorded a few songs, slide on a few songs for Monster Truck,
Oh, nice.
and they repaid the favor because I felt so comfortable there. I said, "Well, what? Do you mind if I record here?" And just Brandon from Monster Truck said, "Sure, let's work on it. I love your music. Let's we won't worry about time or anything like that. You just come in and we'll record." So over the last 2-ish years, we recorded this record. I've never had so much time to be able to put everything that I want on.
And they have their own studio? Or is that
Yeah, well, the rehearsals
down here?
Rehearsal place / studio. And so yeah, and I was in town and just was really comfortable. Just
One of the guys is on the dial from the band?
Yeah, Frank,
Yeah.
from the keyboard player.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you just took your time, went in like a song at a time, that kind of thing, or just?
We did it more Sunday night. We did the bulk of the songs. My part, live, no click, just me and my guitar.
Right.
And then we started, adding drums.
So full
bass.
band?
Full band on most of the songs.
Oh, wow.
And Jessica Brown on keyboards.
Nice.
Troy Dowding on trumpet. Justine Fisher on bass.
The bass
And,
machine.
yeah, I'm trying to think. And Brandon on B3 and some other different type of keyboards. And
That's cool, man.
yeah, Melissa Marchese on background vocals, and it was great.
Powerhouse.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a departure for you, though, no?
Yeah.
Usually your records, I remember you used to just go into Grand Avenue, do them in a day.
That's because I had to pay for them.
Yeah.
When you have to pay for it, you have to make sure it makes
I know,
money.
man.
And now there's no more money in music, so you don't even make money anymore. So
Yeah.
just everything's free. So you have to be cost effective. But luckily, and there's going to be a new label built around it too. They're starting a label called Gilded Tooth, and yeah,
You're going to be on?
Yeah, I'm their
So
first
they-
artist. I'm their
Nice.
guinea pig.
All right, man.
Yeah, or
You were
canary. I'm not sure
with,
which.
Busted Flat for a
Yeah.
long time, right?
Yeah, and they're still great. Some of my friends are still on Busted Flat. It's just for me, I wanted to.
Yeah.
I wanted a little bit more.
Or Hamilton centric.
More Hamilton centric and a little
Yeah.
more promotion and whatnot.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, we have a great publicist working on it too, so it should be really good.
Are you gonna do just do like put it on the platforms? Are you gonna do CD? You gonna do vinyl? You
I've
gonna
already
do-
got CDs. Yeah,
You got
yeah,
CDs.
but at the official release date, because it's not on Spotify and that yet until the middle of November.
You gonna do a show like a party release?
Yeah, I'm
party?
gonna do a release party, probably not till the new year, just because I want to have time to plan it right and pick the right venue and whatnot, and and be able to get all the people that played on it to play at the theater or whatever it is that we decide to do.
Nice.
But we'll see. Yeah, that's still in the planning stages.
Yeah.
Used to be everything had to line up. Now nothing has to line up anymore.
No,
It's
the, like you say, the business isn't even the business anymore.
Yeah.
Whatever that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still making a semi decent living, but
Right.
I'm not far from getting rich. I pay my mortgage. I'm happy to be able to say I can pay my mortgage as a full-time musician.
And do it. Yeah, playing music. That's
I buy a guitar every couple of months and so
Sell
on.
guitars, yeah. I know you used to have some sponsorships too. Did it?
Yeah,
Do you still do that? Are you still?
Yeah,
sponsored by anybody?
I'm still technically endorsed by Gold Tone and Golden Guitars and Goodman Guitars. I just haven't got anything recently new, just because I have a lot of guitars.
Nicole says no.
Yeah.
No more.
Well, every time I'm trying to, 1 in, 2 out is what I'm trying to do, right? But somehow they keep replicating and just, I've tried to hide it and get like double cases. Maybe she won't be able to count them all.
Yeah.
And but then my daughter who's 12, she's starting to play guitar too, and she's collecting instruments already. She's got 2 guitars and a ukulele. It's like that all takes room. It's like it's not all my guitars. And Nicole obviously has 3 or 4 guitars and a bass, and then she has a piano that we stole from the Moonshine.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, your kids, you and Nicole's kids, must be. You gotta have a couple of musical prodigies.
They love playing music. We're not stage parents. We have it's kind of like if you're raised in a household that are shoemakers, you're gonna learn how to make shoes.
For sure.
You're gonna get an appreciation of shoes. If you're living in a musician household, you're gonna learn how to play. I have no expectation or desire for them to become professional musicians.
God, why would you?
No. And not to speak ill, your earlier guest was talking about the music program at Mohawk.
Ron, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that is a great
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But I've had people come up to me and say, should I go to this musical program or not? I'm like, no, go to a trade school, learn how to do something. Play guitar as much as you want.
Yeah.
It all depends on what you want to do. If you want to be an orchestra musician,
Right.
it's definitely necessary.
For sure.
You know.
Well, the way when Ron was talking about how the ecosystem was when he came out of Mohawk was he was making more money than the guys almost working in the steel mills were because they were playing 3-4 night gigs all over everywhere, right?
Yeah.
That just doesn't happen anymore, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like there's here and there. I mean, like
here and there.
I've always I'm probably being too honest right now.
Oh, be honest.
I
We're all
always
about
feel
honesty
like
on Shake It Up Radio.
there's a certain level of gigs that are always there, right?
Yeah.
And those are gigs that everyone plays. And then there's like another step up and another step. There's levels, right? So, but I mean,
sure.
it has changed a lot. Like it used to be bars had music 7 nights a week,
Mhm.
and now they have it on weekends, and then some people don't have it at all. And it's, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
But music is ubiquitous, man. It's in everybody's head, everybody's earbuds, but it's just not the the delivery system built around selling beers to come and watch and listen to people play music.
But maybe that's the way it always is. Like we had this small, like if you think of the history of recorded music, it's been what, 130 years, 140 years? Before that, no one made a living as a musician, as a recording artist. It was all about playing.
It was, yeah.
And now it's returning to play. I mean, it's kind of the opposite way. Reality was the top end of the industry can't play, and the bottom end, all they can do is play.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of like an interesting thing because, like, you know, back in the early days, you had to be able to play.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, we had this conversation, I remember a long time ago, about that music was enjoyed in the parlors of people's homes, and then they sat around as families and played music in the house, and that was the joy of the music. It really wasn't taken out as a profession until the 20th century, right? Obviously.
Yeah, like I mean, the recording industry, obviously. I think there's always been a class of professional musicians that made it as a living.
Right, the recording industry.
It's just the recording industry that wasn't there, you know, because there was concert, like, I mean, even, you know, Beethoven and Mozart, their musicians would have made a decent living.
Yep.
But they weren't doing it, they were doing it by performance, not by, maybe by, trying to think when the printing press was invented, but they probably weren't doing it by printing music, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so it's interesting how things have changed.
We're getting into the weeds here, Alfie.
Yeah.
We're getting into the weeds. Better play another song.
I'm gonna play another song.
We're digging deep here.
Yeah, this is another obscure song that everyone can relate to. This is called Sweet Persephone, which is about Persephone eating 6 pomegranates, eating 6 pomegranates, and I mean half the year in the underworld with Hades. So, you know.
Yeah, just the light fare.
You like fair.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what happens when you
everybody
do homeschooling. Lots of, past is left behind us. This halcyon days will not turn. No prophets are left to divide us. No suckers left to burn. No dancers left to entrance us. No lovers left here. Nothing left to bind us. Nothing left to burn. Everything has a vague sulfur smell, but I remember the taste of love so swell. 6 pomegranates you should never eat. Temptation was just too deep. Temptation was just too deep. This is left behind us. This house and days will not return. No prophets will ever divide us. No suckers left to burn. No dancers left to entrance us. No lovers left here. Nothing left to drive us. Nothing left to feel long past dead, but still alive. I'd sell my soul for her sweet brown eyes. Out of my depths, out of my reach. Miss my sweet Persephone. Miss my sweet Persephone. This left behind us. This house and days will not return. No prophets left to divide us. No suckers left to burn. No dancers left to entrance us. No lovers left here. Nothing left to drive us. Nothing left to burn. Thank you. Yeah, by way of Alfie Smith, everybody. Well, that's where the Delta came from, right?
Yeah. So you were talking. We were starting to talk a little bit earlier on about your annual forays down south into Mexico. And,
Yeah.
You're doing that again this year.
Yeah, I'm doing that again this year.
So what's that all about?
So I was lucky enough to go by accident with with my in-laws to Isla Mujeres, and I looked up on Facebook what friends of mine have been to Isla Mujeres. It's one of those good things of modern technology. And Brad Hale's a good friend of mine. I see all these photos of him.
Yeah.
Killing Time Band, and they're awesome musicians. You should have them on sometime.
Yeah.
And anyway, I said, "Oh, I'm going to Isla. What would you recommend to do while I'm there. He said, well, when are you going? He goes, these dates. He says, oh, I'm running a festival that weekend. Do you want to come do a guest set? So this is about 6 or 7 years ago. And I said, sure, I'd love to do that. So
serendipity there, right?
yeah, and so I go to a guest set, and since then I've been invited down to go down outside of COVID. So I've been down about 5 or 6 times now, and it's an amazing festival. It's always 5 or 6 local Canadian musicians and 1 or 2 American, and then a bunch of Mexican musicians. And it's like a 4-day little festival. It's relatively affordable. It's like $150 American to go. Like
For the whole festival.
For the festival.
Wow.
You have to get yourself there.
Sure.
It doesn't
Find
include
a place to sleep,
airfare or
right?
hotels.
Find a place to sleep.
But because Isla Mujeres is just outside of Cancun, so it's a cheap flights into Cancun. You take a cab or a shuttle to the ferry, and take a little ferry in this small little island of 3,000 people. It's beautiful, and so it's a really nice thing to do.
Wow. So they fly you down, they put you up, they feed you and take care of you while you're down there, and then you just see the same faces?
It rotates a little bit, but I mean, the people who come to watch are a lot of the same people, but we're always looking for more people. And it's a nice way to, like, you know, if you're ever nervous about going to Mexico, you're in a community, right? So,
right.
You know, and we all go to the same venues and whatnot, and we kind of take over like 5 or 6 different venues over the week, and we all play these different venues, and it's great. And and everyone's friendly, and everyone has the same interests because, you know, they're all music lovers, and it's great. Yeah.
And do you find yourself when you've been down there, have you done like kind of musical cultural exchange with residential kind of musicians down there, where you
very much so.
You pick up stuff off them, they pick up stuff off of you, and
yeah, very much so. And in fact, one of the musicians that are going down, Kurt is going to be running a seminar on guitar maintenance because he's a repair person in Minneapolis, and he's going to do a repair, and I'm going to help out, and we're going to show the locals how to maintain their instruments in a hostile environment, because that's on an island that's rather warm and salt water.
Yeah.
So I'm going to fix up their instruments and, you know, show them how to get the most of their strings and whatnot.
Nice.
Pick up maintenance and all that kind of thing.
Yeah. That's phenomenal, man.
Yeah.
And is that something that Brad organized from the jump? Got on board with?
It started off as we would use it as a fundraiser for women's education. So learning English as a second language, because in that area, tourism is such a big thing. Right? Like before the 1970s, Cancun had a population of like 3 people.
Right.
But it was just decided by the Mexican government, there's just beautiful beaches, let's make it a tourist destination. So there's not really, originally it was like a fishing industry, right? But outside of that, so tourism is really important. Learning English as a second language, I find it odd. I don't expect when I go to a country that they'll know my language. You know, I feel it's more upon us as visitors to learn their language.
Right.
I'm horrible. I can order what I need and talk about what I need, but
where's the bathroom?
Yeah, those important things, you know, where to take a nap, those kind of things. But it's, you know, when you're a service industry and most of your people are American and Canadian, it's important to learn how to speak English, and it gives them much more job opportunities.
Right.
You know?
So Brad jumped on that, and that's the cause that you guys have. Yeah,
and now it's more focusing on the musicians and whatnot. And
Is anybody else Hamilton centric that goes down with you guys?
This year, I don't think there's this year I don't think there's any other more Hamilton musicians besides Brad. Brad was from Burlington, so we'll classify him as Hamilton.
We'll keep him in the Hamilton realm.
But yeah, it's different every year. Like in the past year, there's been some Hamilton musicians, but yeah, so it's like one woman's from BC and she's playing, and Minneapolis, like I said. A couple Toronto musicians. It's going to be good. Lo-Fi, they're from Burlington.
Lo-Fi.
They're coming for the Friday night. They're doing a concert there. Yeah,
that'll be out of hand.
Yeah, last year we had My Son the Hurricane, which was pretty real. I'm like seeing like a 20-piece orchestra playing in the middle of this small little bar.
That must have freaked everybody out for sure.
Yeah, it was great.
Nice.
Yeah, and the tickets are like, we don't sell a ton. It's like just a small number. I think it's like 100 or 150, and that's it. So it's like a small little group of us.
That's enough to
fill
up the venues and keep everybody
but it keeps it, nice, quaint, yeah,
Nice.
and everyone's, friendly, yeah.
And when do you leave for that?
I leave end of October. I leave a couple days beforehand. It runs from Halloween till the 4th or 5th of November. But yeah, it's great. Like there's a little boat cruise, and we all jam on the boat. It's great.
Nice.
Hopefully we don't fall over on the...
Brad must have fallen off that boat
Yeah.
at least one time.
Oh, I'm sure he has. Yeah. I definitely don't bring my 1935 National.
No,
to Islip.
No. You want to rip one out for us?
Sure.
Alfie?
Let me see.
How about something that's going to be on the new album?
Well, those two are going to be on the new album.
Okay. Well, there
So
you go.
let me do something that's
How
not
about
going to be
something
the album,
old?
because I'm already
Like
on
one of the old albums.
Yeah, I'll do an old traditional blues. This is Coming on My Kitchen, which is I did with my wife. That was the title track of our
Nicole
last.
Christian?
Yes, Nicole Christian,
Yes.
who's an amazing musician. in her own
Absolutely
right.
is.
Yeah.
Got her at Gage Park this year. She was phenomenal.
Yeah. So this is Coming on My Kitchen. I'll be missing Nicole's part, but I'll
Well, I'm
start.
not doing it.
Yeah, you sure?
Positive.
You can have some slight surgery.
Yeah, I don't want to butcher.
Hit the high notes. Woman I love, my best friend, that joker get lucky, took a bag again. You better come on in my kitchen, or it's gonna be raining outdoors. Won't get in trouble, won't put you down, looking for a best friend, nothing to found. You better come on in my kitchen, or it's gonna be raining outdoors. There are days I know my name. Why do I worry? Is it all in vain? You better come on in my kitchen, or it's gonna be raining outdoors. Woman I love, took my best friend. That joker get lucky, took her back again. You better come on in my kitchen, or it's gonna be raining outdoors. You better come on in my kitchen, or it's gonna be raining outdoors.
Alfie Smith, everybody. You rip those traditionals, Alfie. You're ripping, man. So we're both kind of in the same boat here. We both play music with our wives. We're both, yeah. Do you? You were talking about not like exposing the kids to music, but not driving it into them. Do you guys like just kind of sit around the house and play music together? Do you jam at home? Or like how does that work?
A lot of it is actually independent. Like Dara will go into her room and play guitar more than I caught her playing Nirvana the other day. I learned Nirvana. And then she told me it was some movie she saw recently. It's like, oh,
Right.
Yeah. Because, like, I'm hearing the songs, like, why are you playing Nirvana? So I'm proud. Because I grew up in the age of grunge, right? So,
Yeah.
And it's surprisingly a big influence. People would expect, but, grew up in the late 80s. That's what you were exposed to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What about you and Nicole? Do you guys like sit around and play guitar in the living room?
We used to do that.
Or-
That was pre-children.
Yes.
Now we raise the children as best we can, and then fall asleep. That's basically it. And during COVID, we kind of stopped playing, unfortunately, together as much because it was hard to find, reliable babysitters and whatnot with everything going on.
Sure.
And so it's just one extra hurdle. Hopefully, my daughter's 12 and my son's 9.
Wow.
So hopefully she'll be able to start watching him in about a year or two.
Yeah.
And then we'll be a little more freer to go play some more.
Yeah.
That's the goal anyway.
You've still got a pretty regular itinerary, though. You still
Oh
play
yeah,
out quite a bit.
I play out. I don't know, 3 or 4 days on the week, depending on the week. This week's a little light. But with this CD, I've been trying to be a little lighter, so it'll have more emphasis when I do a concert.
You don't want to saturate the market.
No, I mean, if you can, get the milk for free, why would you pay for the cow?
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
So, trying to desaturate myself a little bit. Yeah.
And do you put your stuff? You're going to do physical CDs, but do you put your stuff on the platforms? And stuff too? I guess you kind of have to.
You kind of have to, unfortunately. Yeah. It's kind of like trying to sweep up the tide.
Yeah.
You can't, as much as it's not a good thing for musicians in the long run.
No,
you can't do anything to it.
Yeah.
It's there. You can pretend it doesn't exist, but it does.
I just cashed in my my royalties since I uploaded all my stuff about 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was $89 American.
Oh wow.
It was $10 a year.
That's
pretty good.
That's really depressing.
Not bad.
Yeah. Well, I can't remember. I'm just making up numbers like everyone does when they make up a number. But I think Taylor Swift, some biggest artist in the world right now, right? And she made something like what, $40,000 off of Spotify.
Oh yeah.
And it's like if the biggest, it might have been a month, I don't remember, but whatever it is, a month, a year, whatever.
Yeah.
If you're the biggest artist of the year of that year, and you're making $40,000 off Spotify, there's something that doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, the tech industry has co-opted the music industry.
Like if you look at any other time of recording history, and you're the top artist, you're making multiple millions of dollars per year.
For sure, yeah.
Like I'm sure she is at her concerts, but I mean as just radio play.
Yeah. Yeah. Radio play and album sales.
Yeah.
I heard Snoop Dogg was talking. He was saying I used to sell 10 million albums, and I used to get $5 million or something like that. I got $5 an album, and now I get 10 million streams, and I get $127 check.
Yeah.
Something ridiculous like that.
Yeah.
But like you say, you got to do it. I've been debating whether to even bother to put the stuff out myself because we're releasing the record pretty soon too.
When I was with Busted Flat, they were very against it, and I understand why. And at the time, it made sense. It was just coming in, right? But at this point, there's nothing you can do.
No.
I'd like to. It's kind of like, if you could stop them from inventing it, but there'd be something else.
Yeah, maybe another model will evolve somehow where it's a little bit more artist friendly and people.
Well, if there's stuff like Bandcamp, you can still buy a whole entire album for $10 or whatever you.
The way Apple Music used to be, you sell your CD for $9.99 on there.
Yeah,
right?
and
song.
Yeah, and that's great. And if we go back to that format, it's great. But the Spotify thing doesn't make any sense. It doesn't even make sense, really. No.
It's a lot of sense in the world, for sure.
Yeah.
Gary, you want to add anything to? Do you got any questions for Alfie there?
No, I'm just mesmerized. I just really enjoy and enthralled when you play. Just absolutely.
Thanks.
You're the penultimate in my eyes.
Oh, thank you very much.
So it's just you and Nicole, and Nicole was on the stage. I worked with her during the summer at your festival. So, and your daughter, the three of you, power to you.
No,
continued success by all means.
I appreciate it.
You're doing all the good stuff, Alfie.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Speaking of good stuff, you want to do another tune?
Sure. Let me, what do I want to play? Okay, I'll do this. This is an old Prohibition song. And there'd be a musician out, this is during the Prohibition, there'd be a musician outside playing music. And when they saw the cops coming, they played this song to warn the people inside to hide the hooch. So, very casually, for people that are just listening, I'm going to have a sip of water because I realized I hadn't anything to drink and I'm not going to be able to sing the whole entire song. If you go to Baltimore, you won't end up pallet on your floor. If you go and you follow me, there's a land in Galilee. Green, green, rocky road, promenade in green. Tell me who y'all love, tell me who y'all love, who y'all love, tell me who y'all love. Do the soda cracker, does your mama chew tobacco? If your mama chews tobacco, do the soda cracker. Green, green, rock and roll, promenade in green. Tell me who y'all love, tell me who y'all love, who y'all love, tell me who y'all love. See that crow up in the sky, he don't walk, no, he just fly. He don't walk, no, he just run out there playing in the sun. Green, green, rock and roll, promenade in green. Who y'all love, tell me who y'all love, who y'all love, tell me who y'all love. See that crow up in the sky, he don't walk, no, he just fly. He don't walk, no, he just run out there playing in the sun. Green, green, rock and roll, promenade in green. Tell me who y'all love, tell me who y'all love, who y'all love, tell me who y'all love, who y'all love, tell me who y'all love, who y'all love, tell me who y'all love.
Alfie Smith, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on the show, Alfie.
Thanks.
It's been an absolute pleasure to be in the same room with you. We've been orbiting each other for a couple of decades now. And,
Yeah.
it's always a pleasure to be around you and hear you.
You're a hell of a voice, Michael. Good job.
And you want to give us the dates on the guitar, the swap meet and
Yeah.
what you're doing?
October 26th, and that's a Saturday, and it's from 11 till 3 p.m. If you're getting a booth, it's $50 for one table or $75 for two. Or if you're just coming to look, it's $5 to get in. And you're allowed to bring in one instrument at a time if you want to come try to sell or trade to people there. So you're allowed to bring an instrument in with a $5 admission. Only one.
Mm-hmm.
People show up with like 3 or 4. It's like, no, one at a time.
Yeah.
It's like, it's still, you have to keep people safe, and you don't want people carrying around 3
It's
or 4.
quite a busy, it was packed in there. So
it
there's
was
not a lot of room to maneuver if you're dragging 6 guitars on.
No, and I felt so privileged that people came out to it. I always felt it was really, it made me feel very good about running it. Like there's always this, fear. Is anyone going to show up?
Yeah, man.
If you build it, will they
Absolutely.
come? And they came, so it was nice.
Yeah, for sure. And you got your, so you're going to Mexico first then? You're going
No, Mexico I'm leaving like.
Oh, you're going in November?
Yes, well, I'm going the end of October.
End of October.
So I think the 26th is the day of the festival, or not festival. 26th is the day of the guitar show. And then I got to fly out on like the 29th or 30th or something like that.
Cool, man.
Yeah,
so we'll be able to pick up all this. This will be on all the socials.
Yeah, it'll be on the socials. If you go to Hamilton Players Great Guitar Show on Facebook or on Instagram, I'll have to check and see what's on Instagram, but it should be. Or if you go to Alfie Smith, find me on Instagram.
Just find Alfie and he'll lead you the way.
Yeah.
Well,
thanks so much.
Thank you, man. You're making Hamilton a better place. Alfie Smith, everybody.
This is Shake It Up live on CanuckTunes.ca. We will return in just a moment from Cat and Fiddle, the corner of John Street and Augusta, Hamilton's own pub.
Clear. Coast is clear.
Yeah, that was all clear up, man.
So is your phone free? Can you take a picture of it?
Yes.
Or not you take a picture, but can we get a picture of
Yeah.
everybody? I forgot, but I forgot with the shape. Last week to get a picture of.
My phone or-
You can't think of everything, Kimberly.
I don't know.
Don't count on me to think of anything.
You're just there to look pretty. Just sit and look pretty, guys.
Keep the lights down.
That's
Face for radio.
it.
Thanks for radio. That's what my mom told me.
It's his birthday, he's allowed to take a drink.
No
problem. I was saying happy birthday.
Oh, so we need
Who's taking
some.
the picture?
Who wants to hold the camera? Thank you.
Gary, you getting in on this too?
Yes.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, thank you.
How you doing? Thank you for the water. Yeah, you're welcome. I saw you there in the movies at the end. Yeah.
Enjoy this.
I like the back of your phone.
Yeah, it's
Thanks.
cool.
Oh, it's cool.
Cheers.
Thank you, Alfie, for coming
Oh,
out.
no.
We appreciate it. You sound amazing
I'm
as
sorry
always.
that I called in
Oh,
sick.
don't be silly.
No. Don't,
Apologies, I'm
Stand
not.
up.
Please look over the side.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
well, I felt bad because I was well enough to do other shows, just I didn't want to,
No worries.
I didn't want to blow a secret radio with it.
Yeah.
Not even-
Yeah, no, I
Let
get
it get out.
Cheers. I'd like to you went for lunch.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
That
right.
is so cool.
Yeah. Stay positive. Yes, indeed.
So,
Keep watching.
and
Yes.
before we start again,
All right, let's get hammered.
okay, go for it.
Are you off the wagon?
No, he's not.
I was gonna say.
He's not on
Thanks
the
so much.
way. He's a good boy. Cool. That was good. Oh, I prefer-
Oh, yeah.
Olympics are awesome.
I'm in the opinion, it just came from, when I started working out, I would wear my thumb, like, my thumb.
Yeah.
And so I just forced myself to sound horrible for 6 months with finger picks. And then I